Hello, guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. Today, we're going to be going over another unique item, and this one is a very sad one because it was a unique item that was probably one of the best helms in the entire game. And now, unfortunately, it is what I would consider to be one of the worst helms in the entire game. Quite an about face, especially considering 1.5.0 was supposed to beef up the uniques, not make them worse. And what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the Tuskhelm of Joritz the Mighty. The Tuskhelm of Joritz the Mighty used to give things like damage reduction, maximum resource, and all sorts of amazing things. In fact, I feel like it's just as a sign of respect, I should probably pull up the original Tuskhelm of Joritz the Mighty. Tuskhelm of Joritz the Mighty. And we're going to pull up one of the original screen caps of it before it got nerfed. So this is what it used to be before they nerfed it into oblivion. And it used to be 14% damage while berserking at 13 to maximum fury, which of course was really good for scaling fury builds like Romulad's Magnum Opus, kicks, and pretty much anything else that scaled fury, which was really nice. It also gave 10% flat attack speed, which was just applying to everything on your character, whether you were berserking or not. And 3 ranks to aggressive resistance. Aggressive resistance is the main thing that was giving the damage reduction on this particular ability, because aggressive resistance gives you a flat damage damage reduction of 4% per rank, which meant that the original version was giving you 4, 4, and 4, which if you even got a greater affix on that could go even higher, but it was a nice 12% damage reduction or higher, depending on how high you could get that aggressive resistance. The aggressive resistance is gone, the attack speed has been nerfed, the scaling resource is gone as well, and quite honestly, the helmet is probably the biggest piece of garbage I've seen at this point. I probably wouldn't put it on any character at all. They really need to revert this one back to its previous form, because the Tuskhelm of Joritz the Mighty was one of the few helmets in the game that actually competed with Harlequin Crest and Andariel's Visage for damage output because of how it was structured and how well it was itemized. And yeah, maybe it needed a little bit of an update here or there, like increasing some of the things like the 14% damage while berserking to a higher amount, but it didn't need to be gutted like this.
Mr. Goody Two Shoes, Mr. Goody Two Shoes. Ginger Evil Mentor here. Why bother farming when you can go to MMOEXP.com and simply purchase your items in gold? GGM would have you farm the items. What a pathetic being. Use code GEM Ginger Evil Mentor for 6% off your entire purchase. And don't tell Ginger Gaming Mentor that I was here.
Let's go over the new version of the helmet, and let's talk about why it's not really all that great. First off, you get 873 maximum life. That's the same amount of maximum life just about every single item in the game gives you. It's not special, so nothing special there. We also have up to 8% increased attack speed while berserking, which it used to give 10. So not only did we get a 2% nerf in the attack speed while it was, like in general, but they also made it so that you have to be berserking to get that attack speed bonus, which means that if you are not berserking or if you lose your berserk at any point, kind of sucks. And now granted, there is that really nice new aspect called anger management, which allows you to basically keep your berserk up constantly, but at the same time, you're still losing 2% attack speed from the previous version. On top of this, we also have the 103 to 135% in damage while berserking bonus, which would have been really nice back in the age when Blood Rage was uncapped, but now that Blood Rage is capped, it's not really that big of a deal. I mean, it might help you hit that cap on Blood Rage, which would be nice, and then you wouldn't have to spend any of your other equipment capping out your berserking bonus, but meh. On top of this, it also has movement speed while berserking of 15% movement speed while berserking. So you can run faster. So instead of having things like Maximum Fury, which actually enhance your damage, or Ranks of Aggressive Resistance, which actually gave you some damage reduction, or 10% increased attack speed, they gave us things like you can run fast, and we're going to take away 2% of your attack speed and make it conditional, and also, just kind of just gut the helmet entirely. I know I'm being very very mean, honestly, on this, but it's really because the original Tuskhelm of Joritz the Mighty was one of my favorite helmets. So seeing it gutted like this, what did they do to my boy? It kind of pisses me off, to be perfectly honest, especially when it was under the guise of making it better. Now, the special effect on Tuskhelm of Joritz the Mighty hasn't really changed from the previous version. It's wind berserking while you are already berserk. When you gain berserking while you are already berserk, you have up to a 60% chance, which is the same amount as before, to become enraged, granting 15 times increased damage, 2 fury per second, and 10% cooldown reduction. That is all exactly the same as the original helmet and still works fairly well. But the rest of the helmet got gutted, and I don't really like it. The flavor text on this says, as he fought with side-by-side with. What? Is that a typo? It's got to be a typo. As he fought side by side with Raykor to liberate the labor camp, Joritz claimed this dented helm from a fallen foe. As his legend grew, its unique shape became synonymous with his great deeds. Honestly, at this point, I can't recommend using this helmet, really. The damage bonus is nice, but they took away all the damage reduction. They took away the scaling modifier. They kind of like stunted the berserking attacks, the attack speed. And the only thing that they really enhanced on it was the damage while berserking, which used to be only 14%, and now it's 135%. So yes, the damage while berserking went up tremendously. But other than that, the helmet got just objectively worse, pretty much in all regards. And it's not competing with Harlequin Crest anymore. It's not competing with any of them. In fact, they took the maximum resource off of Tuskhelm the Mighty and put it onto the Harlequin Crest, and now Harlequin Crest has maximum resource on it. So there's even less of a reason to put this helmet on your head now than there was before. It's rather unfortunate. If you do want to find this helmet, this particular helmet comes from Duriel, and it also comes from Andariel. It is a special drop when you are killing them on the Barbarian. So if you do want to farm yourself one of these, you can go check out Duriel and Andariel. You'll get one whether you want to or not while you're fighting Duriel and Andariel. So one of them's going to fall into your lap eventually anyway. As you can see, this is a greater affix roll with 22.5% movement speed while berserking. I got to give him credit. Not a lot of items got smashed into oblivion like the Tuskhelm of Joritz the Mighty. So in a little bit of a positive note, the 1.5.0 unique item pass did help a lot of the unique items make them more useful and more valuable in general. This is one of the few that just didn't quite work out. And maybe, who knows, maybe they'll revert it back to its original form or something, and it'll go back to being the amazing Tuskhelm of Joritz the Mighty that we all know and love. But until then, it's going to sit in my stash, and I'm probably not going to use it for just about anything. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals joining me for these videos, even when we're just talking about how crappy the Tuskhelm of Joritz the Mighty is. And if you enjoy the content, please be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. And as always, keep watching.